welcome to Enterprise Friday on Enterprise TV. I am Henry UBK, and now to our main conversation for today. Nigeria's chief of defense staff has warned against the clamor for a coup over the prevailing economic hardship in Nigeria. Since the removal of the fuel subsidy and floating of the naira, Nigerian citizens have taken to social media to advocate for military intervention as a panacea to the country's challenges. Christopher Musa noted that while the country has been experiencing some challenges, call for a coup were way out of order. In the studios with me today to discuss on this very interesting and engaging topic for today is Wale Ogunwade. He is a good governance and a democratic right advocate. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
And welcome to Enterprise Friday today.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, thank you so very much for giving us your time. So, sir, let's go into the issue of focus today. There's no gainsaying that no human being is immune to development. What everyone, especially Nigerians, would want is a situation where they are being treated right. We'd love to see a situation where the basic means of survival is there for us. Electricity is there, peace is there, and so many other things. However, when there is scarcity or lack of some of these things, it gives rise to some of the things that we just read, which of course the military are debunking and hoping that it doesn't come to fruition. Now the question is, how do we bring in good governance to ensure that such clamor comes to an end?
Yes, making the people happy, bringing up policies that will ameliorate or remove those problems and pains of the people. We run a democratic government, by extension, a constitutional government. And that government, by virtue of what they are doing, it is governed by various rules and regulations, which we call the Constitution. And Section 2014, subsection 2B particularly, talks about the essence of government. And what is the essence of government? The security and the welfare of the people. So if that is lacking, obviously there will be pain in the land. Those of us who have been opportune to go outside this country, particularly to those countries that they called developed countries, you know that definitely there are welfare packages for their citizens. Houses, transportation, food and feeding, medication, and such other things that we call the safety nets. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, we don't have such. Really, when this Tinubu administration came in, I was one of those, when he said subsidy is gone, I was thinking that, well, it means that he has some plans, that he wants to work on things. Really, which again, I will not, he was ill advised, or if he took it from his brain, that was a wrong step to have taken. All I know is that you can't just buy land and move in and start sleeping there. You buy land, you lay the foundation, you lay the various blocks to the various levels, both to the PVC, to the lintel, to the roofing. Then, of course, after roofing, maybe I have done it before. After roofing, I moved into my house, started living, and started developing the other processes, the other things.
Exactly.
Plastering.
So everything was in series.
In series. But not that I just said, I want to sleep in I just acquired a piece of land and you park in there and start sleeping under the clement condition. That's what the Tinubu has done. To me, there was no plan. There was no foundation for his fuel removal. I will expect that there will be buses. There will be some things concerning the fuel issue, maybe talking to the major oil distributors, talking to the transport workers, talking to the market women. I travel around Nigeria like I normally tell anybody. And you find out that these women suffer a lot before they get their farm products down
to the marketplace.
I'm sure you who have seen them on the road, these vehicles, they They are not meant to be for transport. No.
Food produce.
God bless you, sir. But you see the way they pack those vehicles. In fact, the risk of having an accident.
Very true.
Just because they want to either maximize profit or to make things easy for those women. And some of them, sometimes you see the women sitting on top of vehicles, tied to that goods.
The produce.
But I've gone to other countries, including America, you see trucks, you see several vans that are made to ferry farm produce to the supermarkets and to the markets. And the women or those the farmers too, they go in their own vehicles or in some other vehicles or means of transportation, not in that state. I'm holding a foundation for the issue of coup. So when people are not happy, the next thing they will think is, who will save us? To them, it is the military, which unfortunately is an aberration when it comes to the issue of governance.
Yes.
All over the world, the military is not the alternative to civilian rule. In fact, monarchical system like in Britain and other countries, and you have seen in some areas they have thrown the monarchy outside, just because it is not. Democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Once you now want any form of government apart from democracy, obviously it is wrong.
Yes.
Rather, the call would be for all of us to say, no, you have a right to run this country very well, and if you can't run this government very well, then throw in the towel.
Yes.
It's akin to if the kitchen is hot.
You get out of the kitchen. All right, so let's look at this very important issue. And because of that, I think I would love to put up a caveat here, and that is that we at Enterprise TV do not in any way hope or long for whatever sort of coup d'etat in Nigeria. What we need is, work on our democracy and make it work. But for the purpose of this discussion, I think it's very important we maybe at one point or another dive into the patterns of coup d'etat in Nigeria, why it happened, and what we should do in order to avoid that in the future. Now, since Nigeria became independent in 1960, there have been 5 military coup d'etat from 1966 to 1999. Now, according to a Nigerian military historian named Max Asilion, he said that military rule, which began as an emergency aberration, became a seemingly permanent feature of Nigerian politics that might not go away until ethnic regions are made to respect each other via good civilian leadership. Now, why do you think this shouldn't be a cause of concern for our military today? Knowing that what you did say, that democracy is government of the people, for the people, and so on and so forth, is not being respected in Nigeria. Why shouldn't this be a cause for thinking over by the military?
That's why I want to believe that the chief of staff made that statement, that the military should not be brought into governance. That is not the traditional role of the military. The military was never designed to be in government, as in holding the reins of power. The military is supposed to provide security. The role of the military is to protect the country from external aggression. Well, in some cases, like Napoleon Bonaparte had a military background, and of course, well, you can say that's the beginning. One can look at it that's the beginning of a coup.
Oh, that was very natural.
Because he overthrew the monarchy. But then, at the end of the day, it was found out that indeed Napoleon's intervention was not the best.
Okay.
And ever since, the European countries never allowed anything called coup. We have military in the other countries, particularly the European countries, but they don't intervene. No matter how bad, they allow the system, the political system, to intervene. We've seen countries where the president will throw in the towel, will resign.
Exactly, willingly.
When people start shouting, we don't want you, or you are not doing very well, or they give them ultimatum. That you must do this and do that. In Italy, we know that in Italy, journalists, along the line, sometime some years ago, they were having a change of government. I guess in Israel too. they were having change of government, not through the barrel of the gun, but in a democratic setting. So, to me, the military have no business. And we look at it, on the issue of ethnicity, Nigeria is standing on a tripod. The Hausa, the Yoruba, and the Igbos. The Hausa have had it several times. The Yoruba too has had it. But the Igbos. But again, it's about playing your card right. Politics is not about force. It's about give and take. It may be another topic for another day. I just want to delve into it. So if some people are now shouting, yes, we want a coup, we want a coup, we want a coup, that's not the solution. The coup has never solved the problem. In fact, we are in this problem in Nigeria because somebody who is called Yakubu Gowon, as military had said, because maybe he was young, maybe he wasn't trained to run government, said the problem of Nigeria was not money. And he messed up. And that's why we're in this state.
But at the time he was real. It was reality that the problem we had wasn't the money, because we had so much money.
Thank God for everything. My brother that drives me, that was coming with me, saw the various houses and some that were not occupied in this estate. Said, and people are looking for houses all over. And some people
have houses.
They are not letting. Said, that's how God has done it. Some people will have, and some people will not have. I never knew this question would come up here on air now. And here now, Nigeria have the money. They ought to have invested it, like this, my people that I'm just referring to. Building a house is investment. It can never, houses don't have this depreciate.
True.
I bought a land some time ago. 3 years later, I sold it for more than 3,000%.
Wow.
In fact, for your information, the land is a swampy land. It was waterlogged land. So, what stops the government from investing? If you don't invest in Nigeria, what stops you from investing in other countries? Investing in refineries, investing in pharmaceutical industries, investing in even vehicle, knowing that you have a large population. Let even is not going to invest in vehicle in Nigeria. Let him invest in vehicle companies outside Nigeria. I don't know how old you are, but I remember that when I was a younger person, this party told me was the deputy managing director of Volkswagen of Nigeria, Volkswagen of Nigeria, I think, in Georgia. That plant, millions of naira were put into it, but I don't think they brought out any Nigerian car. Peugeot Automobile of Nigeria in Kaduna too. Not to talk of steel. They are all over, but again, these are even latter days in introduction. When money was money, we used to go to London without any stress. You just go there, they just stamp your visa, you enter. Play. Then along the line, they now started giving us, as students, they will give us bursary. The bursary will just go to London to go and have fun. Can it be done today? You know what you go through before you even get the visa?
The visa itself.
Not to talk of paying for flight. How much? Maybe 20 naira or so for flight. Meanwhile, bursary was 120 naira. So you have 120 naira in your pocket. Life is sweet.
Yes. So let's go back to the issue of a concern here. And the question is, just like you did say in other climb, where leaders, when they understand they are not performing that too well, they willingly love to, come out and resign and say, okay, let someone else come and try. But in our climb today, where we have the people who would rather love to ride till they die, how do you think we can help stop that, especially with concerns to coup d'etats, like we did mention here in 1966, the First Republic was ousted, and the reason they posed was because of they were corrupt. In 1983 also, it was also the same thing, inept and corrupt leadership of the democracy. Now, how do you think we can solve issues of our civilian democratic leaders not performing so well, at the same time not wanting to leave office to allow other people take over the city?
Docility. Docility is a problem. Nonchalant. I say, don't look. You know, concern me. Not them. And there are so many. When people feel unconcerned or running after their daily bread to their own detriment, this is what will happen. Then those who will roughshod over them. But when they know that they have an enlightened society, then definitely they will be on their toes because they know that the people will not take rubbish or nonsense from them. Not the coup. The coup has never solved the problem because a military coup is not an accountable government, but a military government rather is not an accountable government. But the civilian government is an accountable government. They have roots all over. And now you see that because people are shouting and crying all over, you see now that they have now started. That was not what happens before. This is not the first time that things will be tight in this country. Ever since I've been a kid, things have been tight. To the extent that one musician sang that women and men, everyone is shouting, no money in town. You remember that song?
Very true. But when you talked about enlightened public and citizenry, do you think a parliamentary government is a way out to all of this quagmire that we're facing today in Nigeria?
I did a course in school for forms of government. Let fools contend. It's not about parliamentary, presidential. It's about those who run the government and the people who follow them. If we have bad leaders, then we should have good followers.
So how do we ensure we don't have bad leaders?
Through this program and many programs like this. When I started this advocacy, people thought I'm a madman. But I'm happy today it has grown in leaps and bounds. When I floated voters awareness initiative, people said you are stupid. People were abusing me that the vote can never count in this country. And if you remember, then they were using a phrase, incubancy factor. But we have seen people who are incumbent and have been removed. The vote has been counting. And we are still working on it. When I started my advocacy, it was just one piece of paper that the electoral officer will sign and stamp on a day of election. And that's why you saw that it encouraged ballot snatching and all. But today, there are some element of sanity because we have worked on it, we have improved on it. So as we are improving on it, if everyone is improving on it, bringing it, their ideas on the table, then definitely we'll get out of the woods. But when people fold their arms, some people want to do it, they say, no, what are we doing? Leave it, Jaro. Those who are there will continue to mess up. Because what happens is that we give them a blank check. As we talk now, there is something called the constituency office. As I'm talking to you now, not many constituents know about the constituency office and how they can relate with their so-called representatives and all demanding the activation of that constituency office. And what's the constituency office? You have voted somebody into office, then definitely that person must have a place in which he will be relating with you.
No,
the other day, please, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The other day I was in Abuja and I saw the constituency office of one representative in Imo State, in Abuja. Whereas, because he is in the House of Representatives, so he now moved his constituency office to Abuja. And what it means from Imo State. So what it means is that his constituents, whenever they want to interact with him, they must come to Abuja. But if it's election time, he will go to them.
Back to that place. Now, talking about constituency office and for the want of time, how do you think we can dilute this Miloko syndrome that is becoming part of our politics today in Nigeria? Of course, that gave rise to lots of issues where non-competent people get office because they feel it is their turn. So how do you think we can help dilute that so we can in the future have competent people to occupy the right positions in our country?
We have more than close to 120 million Nigerians. As I talk to you, less than 50 million participated in the last election. Less than 50 million. Simple arithmetic. 40 L or 50 L 120. What does that mean? 40 is lower than 120. Is that not so? Is that a pass or a fail?
Very true.
So when majority care less, people don't vote. And you know what I'm talking about? I run an election agency or outfit. In a place like this, maybe that have more than 5,000 people registered, even that are registered voters, that they just registered for the fun of registering. On election day, less than 200 or 1,000 will come out and vote.
But why do you? But don't you think it is because they might think their votes don't count?
So that's the problem.
Because they believe the election.
That's one problem. That's one problem. So they'll continue to suffer until they not ensure that the vote counts. If the vote counts, then those who are there will know that, well, they are going to be removed by the power of these people. So they'll do all the needful to ensure that they continue to win their support. But here, they know that you won't come out to vote. The vote, not that the vote does not count, but you don't make it count. Rather, it's on the people to ensure that the vote counts. Oh, the governor who does not want to be unseated will ensure that the vote counts.
Of course, just like we did say, and we often, we would say, what we need in Nigeria is good governance, where Nigerians would have an opportunity of doing what they need to do in order to ensure that we have a sustainable country and also a democratic country in Nigeria. I'd love to say thank you to Wale Ogunade for being part of our show today. It was really an engaging discussion. Thank you so very much, sir.
To God be the glory.
Yes,
thank you for inviting me.
And just to let you know, Wale Ogunade is a good governance advocate and also an advocate for democratic rights in Nigeria. Thank you so very much, sir, also for being part of our show once more. So for you watching, love to say thank you for making out time to be part of our show today. Please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV. I am Henry Igwe. See you next week for yet another great time on Enterprise Friday. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.